Good morning, YouTube. It's Rochelle Tannen. It's November 29th, 2022. It's 3:01 here on the East Coast. I want to come back with a part 3 for Mr. Darrell Brooks. I've been watching that trial religiously because it's so infamous. And I said this in my first video. If you guys see me smiling or laughing, I'm not laughing at the victims. I want to make that perfectly clear. I hope they had a very wonderful holiday out there in Wisconsin this year after his sentencing and things. I'm laughing because he's such a jackass. And you know, I said in my previous videos, I know at least 5 or 10 Darrells off the top of my head with that arrogance, that nastiness, no empathy, always the victim. I can name 5 off the top of my head. But I know I'm by the grace of the good Lord, I'll be going to school at the end of this year to finish up a degree. And I know I'm going to use this trial in some kind of project because this trial has shifted pop culture, believe it or not. But I digress. My favorite line from this dude is that lawful law? Because I've never heard any lawyer of any type of law say that shit. So if someone knows what that means, put it in the comment section because he's a fucking moron. But again, I'll move on. Now, I've sat back and thought as we enter 2023, Mr. Darrell and the things I've gone through in the last 2 months when I met the guy Queens, and I figured out, it's not that I dislike black men. That's not it. Not largely. I don't respect black men, a good majority of them. And I don't respect black women either, a good majority of them. And not to have someone's respect is so much worse than them not liking you. I could not like someone. There have been times I don't like someone, but I can respect them for the work they do or the ideas they have or even the way they carry themselves. Respect and like are 2 different things. And I don't have a lot of respect for black men like Darrell. Now, younger black men, they have their issues, but I'm not talking about younger black men. I'm talking about these Negroes born from about the mid-70s, about 74, 75, to about 83, 84. I'm talking about these middle-aged niggas like Darrell. I don't respect a grown man, and I said this in other videos, I don't respect a grown man that has a whole bunch of babies, but you making rap videos at 38, 39 years old. I met a guy like that a couple summers ago with 4 or 5 kids. He worked a day job, but he had 4 or 5 kids. He had money for strip clubs. He had money for his rap shows. He had money for J's. He had money for all this shit. But complained that his baby mama said he wasn't giving her enough money. He used to always say, only thing women bring is baby and bills, like men play no role in babies. But he always had money for a rap video, but not enough money for his kids. Speaking of kids, I thought about this too. Darrell was bragging about his kids and now he has an 18-year-old son, this and that, calling them grown, which 18 is the majority, but you still got growing to do. Black people act like once their kids hit 18, they know the world. Get the fuck out my house. Black people are the only people in this country that say silly shit like this. But can you imagine being an 18-year-old young man? Just like the guy I met a couple summers ago. And your father is jumping around in rap, quote unquote, videos. Your dad is jumping around on rap. Can you imagine being this man's son or daughters? And you got to see that shit on the internet? Matt Boy Fly. And I won't mention the guy from Philly's name because he thinks a lot of these niggas out here in Philly think they famous just because they from Philly. So I'll never mention his name. Him and his crew, a bunch of clowns running around having fashion shows and shit. Y'all middle-aged niggas with a bunch of kids behind on child support, much like Darrell. So I'll never mention his name. I won't mention a lot of these men's names because one thing black men like Darrell is that camera, and they love attention. They're just like their mothers. Who else they gonna be like? Because most of these niggas didn't have a daddy. Or they not nowhere close. They have father figures at best. But can you imagine being teenage kids in this time, and these teenagers and younger kids know how to maneuver this internet like no other because they grew up in it, and you gotta watch your father jump around in your grandmother's car making a rap video behind on child support. How the fuck you respect that? You know, a lot of black men have this self-righteous attitude, like dude from Queens. When I started talking to this guy, he lied, and I attract that a lot, because when I open my mouth, a lot of these black men know I'm not for the bullshit, and I'd rather be alone than be with someone just to say I have a man, because I don't deal with pieces of men. So men lie to me. So this guy had 4 or 5 kids, and he called me masculine, and he's telling me about his grandkids, and he's calling me, we did our because I don't really mesh with liars that well. I can't deal with a man that can't keep his word. I don't care if it's something simple. And a lot of black guys don't see the importance of keeping their words. Like, they don't see the importance of paying for their kids. Now, this guy from Queen calling me masculine, but what was funny to me is he was so feminine, like Darrell. The last day we were together and we were discussing this case, he threatened to hit me over a disagreement, just like Darrell hits Erica. A lot of these black men are so in their own heads, they really think they are catches. It's like my dad taught me: if you're a man that got 4 or 5 kids and 3 or 4, and in these days 3 or 4 baby mamas, don't no real woman want you. I don't give a fuck what these online personalities say. Y'all believe in the hype. And like the great Flavor Flav said, you ain't supposed to believe the hype. Because women take not only financial maintenance, as the great Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent just said in a recent interview, women take emotional maintenance. So if you got 4 or 5 kids and 3 or 4 baby mamas, you never have time for the current woman you're dealing with. And see, I'm the type of woman, I need to come first. Just like a lot of these black men expect them to come first. And not only them, with their gaggle of kids, most of them. You know? And as this man's calling me masculine, you're asking me to buy you little things. That's feminine. And I'm not masculine. I like girly things and all that stuff. A lot of you niggas is soft. And only way you can feel masculine is with a woman that you'll deem submissive, like a Erica Patterson, but she's not submissive, she's damaged. And you like being able to manipulate and whatnot, much like Darrell Brooks. When I read these comments and I watch these reaction videos on this case, I hear, oh, he's so narcissistic, he's this and that. For me, he's a run-of-the-mill black man in this country in 2022, in their mid-30s and 40s, thinking they're a bigger deal than what they are in reality, living online and living in this false sense of things. I look at black men as become very light in the pants. When I watched Darrell's rap videos, and yes, I watched them and they were hilarious. Shout out to the comment section, because you niggas are crazy on it in the comment section. But I watched that masterpiece he called rap videos, and I got to thinking, you know, back in the day, I know my dad did this, and a lot of older men in their 60s and late 50s particularly still do this. Shout out to them. And few in their 40s and younger. What the fuck ever happened to black men working 2 jobs that have multiple kids? What the fuck happened to that? You motherfuckers got time for rap, strippers, this and that, but you can't work a second job to help your children out. I met this other guy a few summers back. I won't mention his name neither. He worked a job. It was kind of a remedial job. But it was a job no less. But he wasn't making enough money because he had 3 or 4 kids. And this guy, after he get off from work, he is a huge Call of Duty fan. And he would play Call of Duty longer than the hours he worked. He worked 8 hours, but he would play Call of Duty 10 or 15 hours. Literally. He was one of those. And I remember him complaining one day, and I said, well, why don't you get a second job? You would have thought I shot his mother saying that. I only need to work 1 job. If I don't get paid enough at 1 job, what am I there for? This and that. Well, obviously, if your baby's mother's saying she needs help, that 1 job ain't cutting it. And instead of playing Call of Duty, go get a second job. When I met the dude Queens, the one who called me masculine and all this, I guess I am, because I work a job and I Uber Eats on the weekend. Matter of fact, Uber Eats is about to pay my tuition to this school. So let me get this straight. A lot of black women and whatnot can get out here and work 2 jobs, but you sorry ass niggas can't? Still trying to live your Jay-Z dreams? Or depending on how old you are, your Rakim dreams or LL Cool J and all them? Let me tell you something about these rappers and entertainers I know for certain, old or new. A lot of these rappers, entertainers, actresses, actors respect you more if you just work a fucking job and stop trying to be them. I feel so bad for these rappers having to come to these cities. I'm talking to true lyricists that we've heard about. Because these black men act like groupies. And if by 40 you're not getting that, you'll never, ever be a rapper, a world-renowned one. You need to grow the fuck up. But a lot of them are content running around the city thinking there's someone big and bad, talking about how big and bad they are, hating on the white man and the crackers and all this other shit, but the white man and the crackers are paying for your kids because you won't get a second job. And your rap videos and your rap career is more important. No, I don't have respect for a lot of these black men. When I do go out to Uber Eat on the weekend, I know before I hit my door, and usually I do straight benders. I'll drive 15 to 20 hours. I drove 20 hours last Saturday because I only do this maybe one day a week. So I get it all in. I know before I hit my door, every gas station, 7-Eleven, Wawa, I stop at, there is guaranteed gonna be a black man standing out there, young or old, asking for money, asking for a cigarette. They don't care who they ask. It could be little girls. I've seen grown black men asking little black girls for fucking money. No shame, no nothing. Because in a lot of these black men's mind, much like Darrell, they're always the fucking victim. Now you mean to tell me, and let me preface, yeah, because I know a lot of you niggas, yeah, I've seen white boys beg for money here in Philly. There's a section most in Kensington where all the heroin addicts and things are. A lot of them white guys beg for money. But I ain't talking about them white boys. I'm talking about your black ass. Because let's talk about them Indians and Mexican men. And you could tell a lot of the building going on here in Philadelphia is straight Mexican men. You could tell they just got here. And you'll never see them begging for shit. Being your neighborhood black man and you outside their stores begging. And still walk around talking about you a king, you a alpha, you a this and that. You know, Queens, before he stopped saying this shit after the first day we met, he was talking about how he was a king and you know, everyone's hating on him and all this other shit. But like I told that nigga, he shut the fuck up after I said this. Kings have queens, they're married. And furthermore, for all you kings out there, you know, kings with your jester's pockets like he was. Kings can take care of their queens, mistresses, girlfriends, and concubines. Most of you niggas still have to drive your mama's Ford like Darrell. Most of you niggas, like the dude from Queens, and like I said, I cut that shit off at the knees. I ain't paying for your shit. The fact that I bought him a beer bothers me. I ain't paying for your shit. Especially if you one of these niggas that come out your face talking like you a king. And the first thing that pops in my head for a king is riches, fortune. Immense fortune at that. I shouldn't have to pay for any of your shit. But I digress. There's so many Darrells out here. Because Darrell was whipping Erica's behind over money. Not put money on his bail. Okay? When I was watching the FBI investigation videos, which I watched countless times because the FBI agent's funny as hell. This is my other gripe with a lot of these niggas out here. I'm sick of you two master serving niggas. Listen here. If you're going to be despicable, that's fine with me. I'm an 80s kid. I came up through the crack era. I'm in this time. Niggas say it's in the days. It may be, it may not be. But the good Lord has me in this time for a reason. If you're a despicable ass person, just be that. Don't try to be a good person because it doesn't look right on you. It doesn't fit well on you. Like Darrell and many Darrells. When he was talking to that FBI agent, he said 2 things that caught my ear that really pissed me off. When he tried to act like his 2 daughters live with him, talking about I just need to call my girls, and come to find out that was a lie. That disgusts me. Then when he says about Erica Patterson, I've known this woman 15 years, I got a child with her, I want to make her a wife. Who the fuck do you niggas think you're fooling? You don't make anyone your wife. You're not fooling that white man. 15 years ain't enough time to make a woman your wife. Who the fuck do you niggas think your despicable, debaucherous, sacrilegious behavior is fooling? No one. And when I get called masculine by these men out here, these alphas, high value and things, see, I don't think I'm masculine. They're feminine. And they are feminine because much like I had a father, they did not. They act just like their mothers. I've dealt with black men. I had one guy, I was doing some business with him, and doing business with black men is hard. Doing business with black people is hard because they don't care about the actual business or keeping their word. They only care about money. And like I told Queens, you're very superficial. Black people are so superficial. Long story short, with this guy, we'll call him West Philly. Instead of being a man and just we separate ways, the business didn't work out. This motherfucker stewed for 2 weeks and tried to burn me, which he didn't, because I always have a plan B. Women stew. Women roll their eyes. Women pop their lips. Women do shit like that. This is how I know you niggas are feminine, because you act just like your mothers. When I was a little girl, my father didn't stew around the house and whatnot. My father didn't roll his head, suck his teeth. My dad wasn't perfect by any means, but goddamn. And then y'all call yourself high value. In what world do you niggas live in? What world do you niggas live in? As I said in my first video, there's a lot of Darrells. They just haven't driven that Ford into the parade yet. And this isn't an insult, but I'm going to word it this way. For a lot of middle class, white bread, small town white people, what I understand now, a lot of you guys don't understand, and you guys let these people play on your emotions. If a black man don't take care of his kids, I don't put nothing else by him. Especially if it's a black man that's on child support, that's only talking about the white man and this and that. I don't put nothing by him. To not take care of your children is one of the most dishonest things you can do. If you don't take care of your own children, you don't care about anyone's children, just like Darrell, as he's talking about his kids after running over a fucking 7-year-old. And the young lady, the 23-year-old extreme team dance team captain, brought me to tears. You ran over a bunch of little girls and a little boy and think someone gives a fuck about your raggedy kids. You niggas better understand, everybody's worried about their kids, not yours. And in this instance, you actually killed and hurt children and gonna talk about your kids like someone gives a fuck. Kids you're not raising, kids you don't pay for. Yeah, I'm gonna do a project about Mr. Darrell Brooks. And this case was very interesting. It'll be infamous. Darrell and his bitch mother, that crackhead from the 80s, they represent a lot of people out here, black people in this so-called community we got going here. And they are a problem. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Guys, I've been negative. I said I'm working on positivity for 2023, or what a lot of you people think's positivity, because go along to get along isn't positivity. But on that note, I'm out.